Hey guys, how we doing? My name is Roberto Batiste. Normally when you see all this decor, guess what? Somebody's about to announce something big, right? I know it's 2018, it's election season. Let me put your mind at ease. I am not running for office. Whew, that felt good. All right, now that we got that out the way, again, the name is Roberto Batiste. You're probably asking yourself then, what is this video about? I'm here to present to you guys the Proud American Show. The Proud American Show is something that I really am proud of presenting to you guys each and every single Wednesday. I intend, if you allow me to come into your homes and having a conversation with you. No makeup, no crew, nothing crazy like that. We don't have the budget for it, first of all. And second, we want to keep this conversation as authentic as possible. This great country of ours, the United States of America, is at a crossroad. Crossroad because ideology is becoming the norm into a lot of the decision making process. During those decision making process, one key component is being missed out. The American people, us, the average Joe. What I mean by that, we're talking about the bus driver, we're talking about the police officers, we're talking about the union workers, we're talking about each and every single American that constitute the fabric of what makes this country great. You see, some of us were not born American. Some of us were born outside of the United States, including myself. And I'm proud of that heritage, to have been born in a country like Haiti. But I can also tell you guys is that even there, you can still feel the power of the United States. You can still feel the greatness of the United States of America. I'll use my own personal example to, again, help you guys understand why this country is so important to the rest of the world as a beacon of hope. In 1994, when things looked a little gloom in Haiti and dark, the U.S. Marines, sent by President Clinton then, went back there to restore democracy. What that meant, it was more than some PR stunt. I can remember as a child, folks that could not even say, praise be the president elected of the country, or the democratically elected president of the country, Jean-Bertrand Aristide, at the time. If you just dare say his name, you'll end up in jail. If you dare say he will return one day, you'll end up in jail back then. Here was a country that did not border the nation of Haiti. The United States of America sent troops down there to restore democracy. That meant liberating a country from a military dictatorship at the time. As a young child, that really was powerful to me. That somewhere, somehow, there was a group, a nation of people that cared about the rest of the world, even though they might not have ever encountered a single Haitian. So that means folks in Ohio, folks in wherever, had to split that bill to help a poor country like Haiti out, and making sure that that country had freedom, that country had stability and security. I'm going to leave that for another day to explore it further, but I just wanted to tell you through that experience, my belief on what constitutes America was founded. See, to me, America is more than just the natural boundaries of this land. America is about ideals. America is about principles. America is about standing up for freedom, not just only here in America, but abroad as well. Because like I said, there's always a child that's looking to be inspired. You could believe in justice as a young boy, but as you see the world around you fighting for it, then you become its key advocate as well. That is primarily why when I came to this country with a backpack and a dream, it was one of my most fervent desires to become an American citizen. I have many friends that were educated in the United States that decided to go back and help Haiti out from Haiti. I commend them for it. I applaud them for it. I love Haiti dearly because that's the country where I was born. But I also feel like some of us that came here that were inspired by this country, that became U.S. citizens, have a whole lot more to give to this nation in its construction. Because America is still being built today. The previous generations did not stop believing in the work ahead. We have plenty to do. I told you this show is about the average American, the average person. We're not talking about idealistic goals here that seems out of reach for you guys. In building that America constantly, what we find ourselves doing is lifting our citizens as well. Lifting that bus driver that actually would like one day to make more than just what he's making now, which is probably $8, $9 an hour. In doing so, we are helping to lift the next generation of scientists in this country by providing the proper funding to the school systems that are teaching these young men, or should I say the boys and the young girls in elementary school, to believe beyond what they see. So those are your children. Again, in coming together and finding common grounds beyond the idealistic values that some of us have grown to accept as the new norm now, while we step away from those views or beliefs, then we can sit around the dinner table and have real meaningful and impactful conversations. That's what the American show is about. The Proud American show is about. It's not just saying I'm proud of being an American. It's also saying I'm proud of being an American because I contribute, because I want this country to be even greater than I found it when I came here. Why? Simply because my children deserve better when they start their journey in life. Your children deserve a better America when they start their journey as well. Well, let's talk about some issues that are important to you. It's really disheartening that in today's America you might be working 2 jobs, yet you have to go to a soup kitchen to get help. We often hear about how poor some folks are and what have you, and people are on an unemployment line and what have you. That is true. That's happening in our backyard, in our neighborhoods. But the working poor of this country is a real issue that we must deal with. Meaning folks are being underemployed. Underemployment is some fancy word to say, well, yeah, you're working, but you're not making ends meet. You're waking up at 6 a.m. to catch a bus to go to work. You're not coming home until probably 8 p.m. because you have to either pick up shifts at your regular job or find yourself another job. That is not the America that we've grown to love and cherish. So how does someone that's not running for office help fix that? I believe it's through conversations. It's through dialogue, meaningful conversations and dialogue, that we can find impactful solutions for each and every single one of us. Neighbors have stopped talking to each other simply because of who you voted for, simply because of your views on the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, or what have you. We cannot stop talking to each other as Americans. The moment we do that, we've embraced the most un-American of values of all. Because freedom in itself demands that you sit with folks that you disagree with, that you find common ground so you can move forward as one nation. There are plenty of partisanship going on in our nation, yes. But I can guarantee you this, despite the fact that I might be one of the most partisan guys as well, if your solutions are rooted in serving the American people, in making their lives better, then we have a whole lot we need to talk about. I don't care if you're Republican, if you're conservative, if you voted for Trump, if you voted for Hillary, whoever you voted for, we have something in common we can talk about. But it needs to be about the American people. It needs to be about the working poor of this country that deserve better. It needs to be about reforming our justice system, where again, the poor are not the one that are suffering the brunt of the justice system. The justice system needs to be fair. We're not gonna go in depth into any topic, like I mentioned to you guys, as this is our first show, and I kind of wanna initiate the conversation and tell you some of the guidelines of how we're gonna talk to each other. This is no fancy talk. We're not gonna use some big fancy Harvard-educated lawyer word, and I'm not picking on them. I love these guys dearly. I think they've helped this country out a great deal, but it's about time we tone it down a bit. and we talk like regular Americans. Don't be intimidated by the suit either. I had to wear a suit. I mean, that's my first show, so it had to happen. You'll forgive the suit for today, at least, I hope. Now, we're talking about criminal justice reform. Why is that important? Well, if you have someone that's actually trying to catch a bus to go to work, like I mentioned, and that person somehow, somewhere end up having a vehicle, and the first ticket that they get jammed up. They say they get a speeding ticket. Well, they get into that speeding ticket, now they have to go to court and do all these other things and what have you. By the time they're done, they're incurring legal fees perhaps upward of $500. That person was already a working poor. Now because of some of the legal burden placed on that person, they've become poor overnight. Now that same individual might end up getting unemployed because now they can't even get to work because they're telling you, well, I've missed shift, my boss want to fire me while I was dealing with all these issues. You know what? I might as well just go collect unemployment. Now that person becomes your problem and my problem as well. You might think, well, that has nothing to do with me. It always comes back to each of us because we all pay taxes in this country. I hope so, at least. So we all end up supporting each other, whether you like it or not. We all do. So what's a fair way of dealing with folks and making sure they stay within their lanes, meaning legally, that they don't commit certain crime, they don't commit certain administrative crime as well, because that's important, where they don't have to pay an arm and a leg for every single thing. And I'm using the speeding ticket. Speeding tickets are important because, one, if you're speeding, chances are you might end up crashing and losing your life. Two, you might end up taking the life of someone else. So that's extremely important to deal with. We want something that's fair. I'm not advocating for a moment to take away whatever administrative procedure we have in place. What I'm saying is, what's a better and fairer way of dealing with these issues? And that's just the lightest of things that I'm using. Once you move into other areas of drug addiction, what communities being policed a certain way, that's a whole different can of worms that we're opening. We cannot even begin to have a conversations about these things. How are we supposed to find solutions if we cannot even have a conversation? Listen, it's not going to be easy. But one thing that I'll promise you guys, I'm going to find the decision makers. I'm going to find those guys that are supposed to represent you and ask them those tough questions and have those meaningful and impactful conversations with them. I'm going to make sure that at the end of the day, your voices are heard. See, my props almost fell there, but I cut it. I told you guys, nothing fancy, right? And you'll know because there's no makeup here. You can see my shine and my glow, right? So, again, it is our job to ensure the prosperity of this nation. It is our job to ensure the line of succession to future generations. What that means is leave a better country to the children that walk this land that we call America. Again, it's not about America as we know it within the confine of here. It's America abroad as well. The ideals that we represent, the ideals that we strive for. So that's the America we want to talk about. That's the America we want to showcase to the world as well. The America where, again, a young boy from Haiti can come here with a backpack and a dream and turn that into reality. The America where home ownership is possible within the first generation. Think about this for a second. You can literally move from a foreign country, come into this country, work your behind off, and own your house, and pass that off to your children, and generate wealth and prosperity for your children. I want you to go abroad and into another country and try to figure out how to buy a house or land from those countries. It's a nightmare. I've visited several of them. Again, we have our flaws here in America, but there are so many things that we are grateful for that we should never forget about. I really hope that you will invite me into your homes. You will listen to some of the conversations that we'll be having. You don't have to agree. I'm not here to convince you. I'm not here to brainwash you in any way or shape or form. I'm simply here as a voice to guide the conversations on how we live a better America to our children once we're gone. Again, that America has to be about a fair and equal justice system. It has to be about better wages. It has to be about a sustainable environment. Yeah, that's a big word, right? What that means is let's make sure that we live the climate, the environment better for our children. We don't have to agree on climate change or any of that stuff. Every parent want to leave something better for their kids, meaning, are we still going to have national forest when we are gone so that our children can go and enjoy with their children? As simple as that. That's when you take ideology out of all of this. We bring it back down to the real people, the yous and I that are out there making sure this nation prosper. Because I can tell you, countries don't prosper simply on paper. People have to make sure those countries prosper. Let us not forget what this country represents to the rest of the world. We should always make sure that we strive for that greatness to ensure that our children and their children continue on within the confine of the laws of building this nation forever and ever. I know it sounds like some Bible verse, but it's not really. It's simple. If I had the opportunity to come here in 2001 and build what I've built and making sure that my children get something else in return or start somewhere else that I started, that means the American dream is well and alive. But it's not a dream that we get to walk away from or we get to say, I got mine, you guys can focus on yours. No. It is a dream that we have to nurture with our actions, thoughtfulness, and willingness, again, to always be better than the previous generation. It's been a pleasure. Again, it's an honor that you've allowed me to enter your home on this very first episode of the Proud American Show. I hope you'll be with us each and every single Wednesday, hump day, right? So that you can hear our conversations. We'll be talking to neighbors, we'll be talking to policymakers, we'll also be talking to decision makers. But most important, we'll be talking to you because we want to hear what you have to say so that we can relay that information to those that you've elected to represent you. It's about time that this country is about the people again. I love you guys. A very prosperous and happy new year 2018. Let's bring it back to the people. God bless. Again, proud to be an American, always and forever. Peace and love.